it's a lot of talk between the coaches about the tournament, and the 4 teams that are in it have been through quite a bit and had some pretty good success against other tough ACC teams. And your hope is to go in and beat your next opponent and try to win the ACC tournament, and more importantly, come out healthy so you're ready to go for the NCAAs.
And how much?
And the ladies are also getting ready for that ACC tournament, but first they had one final game in the Dome. We've got your highlights and reaction coming up.
And a wild few days for tennis as the Orange wraps up the season and heads to the ACC tournament against Louisville tomorrow. It's all straight ahead on the bench. Hello and welcome to the season finale of On the Bench. I'm Evan Weston.
And I'm Katie Williams. And Evan, it isn't just postseason time in the pros. We've got some postseason college sports to talk about.
Yeah, while your Caps and my New York Islanders tangle in the Stanley Cup playoffs, Syracuse gets set for the ACC tournament.
We'll get to the men in just a minute, but first, Evan, the women had one regular season game left this week before they wrapped things up.
Yeah, they did, taking on Albany, a regional rival, inside the Carrier Dome this past Saturday afternoon. It was senior day in the Dome for Syracuse, honoring a large group that's experienced 2 national championship game runs, among other things. Albany taking the early advantage in this game. Allie Jimerson with the unassisted goal. They were up 2-0 just a couple and a half minutes in, but Kayla Trainer quickly rectified that. Massive day for the junior star for Niskayuna. That tied the game at 2 at 23-55. Albany had the edge from there, though. Maureen Keggins hitting Sarah Martin. That put Albany up 5-3. The Orange has really struggled this year. Looked like another game might come down to the wire for the Orange. This just before halftime. Lauren Ziegler puts the bouncer through and ties the game at 7, so the Orange at least evens it up at the break. And then in the second half, Syracuse took over. Hallie Majorana, the points leader on this team, an unassisted tally. And then, just a couple of minutes after that, the boss, Kayla Trainer, dodges once, dodges twice. Pretty casual goal. I made it 9-7. Cuse never trailed again. They win 14-12. Lauren Ziegler with a huge effort on her senior day. 5 goals for the West Islip product in the win. Mom and Dad, both SU grads back in the 80s. Kayla Trainer locked up ACC Offensive Player of the Week with a 7-point effort against the Great Danes. Par for the course for Syracuse's superstar. Cuse ends up 11-6 for the regular season. ACC tournament play begins on Thursday against Boston College down in Charlottesville. Citrus TV's Christian de Guzman has more.
10 seniors were honored at the Carrier Dome as Syracuse finished its regular season against number 19 Albany on Sunday. Senior Lauren Ziegler had 5 goals in the 14-12 Orange win.
I'm just proud that we finished the game. We got through it in a tight game. We found the answers and came back and made the plays. So, some of the games we've had in the past, we haven't. Today we stepped up and got it done. And nothing like a senior stepping up on senior day like Lauren Ziegler. Great job today. 5 goals, career high, and not a better day to do it.
I don't think anything was really different. I think it was just all mental, really. I think just knowing that it's senior day, it's your last guaranteed home game in the Dome. You just gotta dig deep and just go hard, be patient, and just play the way you want to play.
Syracuse will now head to Charlottesville to participate in the ACC tournament. The Orange are the number 6 seed and will take on the number 3 seed Boston College on Thursday, April 23rd. Reporting from the Carrier Dome, Christian de Guzman, Citrus TV.
In her first 2 years at Syracuse, Coach's daughter Taylor Gait was plagued with a series of injuries. But finally, in her junior season, she has taken the lacrosse field for her famous father and begun to find her place in the SU midfield. As the Orange is preparing for the ACC tournament in Charlottesville, lacrosse reporter Andrew Miller caught up with Taylor to learn more about her first real season with the 'Cuse.
After missing the 2013 and 2014 seasons due to injury, Taylor Gait has had quite the recovery this year for the Orange. She is now 5th on the team in total points and tied for 3rd on the team in total goals, not to mention setting her career milestones for hat tricks and multi-goal games. Now, her path to get back on the field, not this year, but in her Syracuse career in general, was not without help from her father, the guy at the top.
I've really missed playing this sport, and so being able to play this year is incredible, especially for my dad. Finally, it's been like 4 years, so.
It's just nice to see her out in the field, after a long 3-4 years going through a bunch of injuries. It's just nice to see her have the opportunity to play.
Now that Taylor Gait is back in, her dad has no trouble helping her out in practice.
No expectation. I just want her to enjoy it and have fun and want to be the best that she can be and try and help her with that. So
Yeah, pretty much every drill he'll come over and either chirp me or make fun of me as a joke. Obviously, I don't take it seriously.
What many don't know about this player-coach relationship is that the start of Gait's coaching career may have had something to do with Taylor.
Well, that's the funny thing. When I did get into women's lacrosse, 20 plus years ago, it was because she was born. And she was born 6 months before I took the job at the University of Maryland. And it made me think, hey, why not? Why don't I, maybe I'll coach my daughter one day, is exactly what I said. And sure enough, it happened.
Both of the Gaits can agree on at least SU's potential in the ACC tournament this upcoming weekend in Virginia.
Just getting a good start. I think we really, if we get a good start, execute what we need to execute, I think we'll get a good run.
We have the experience to make a run here. We've done it. We know what it's all about. So we've practiced it, and now it's playoff time.
The Orange plays Boston College on Thursday in the first round of the ACC tourney. Andrew Morris, Citrus TV.
Time for a quick break, but coming up, the tennis block. The team has been very busy this past week. We'll get you up to speed on all the matches next on the bench.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Talking Points is more than just a campus political show. We tackle big issues and have in-depth conversations.
Talking Points.
Talking Points.
We report the political news that our students not only need to know, but deserve to know.
Talking Points.
We do it at the local news level and we do it at the national news level. We're here. You need us. All the political news you need, only on
Talking Points. Talking Points.
Talking Points, only on Citrus TV.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. Since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
catchy music here. Back here on the bench, time to catch you up on all the women's tennis action from this weekend. Syracuse showed up at Drumlin's on Friday with a 7-11 record, looking to gain some seeding position in the ACC tournament. NC State, same deal. Wolfpack was 10-14. Afterwards, you'd wonder why Syracuse only had 7 wins coming in. The Orange waltzed in and smoked the pack 5-2, including a clean sweep of the top 5 singles matches. Amanda Rogers ground out a win over Joanna Naborska in the first singles play, and Syracuse pulled out 3 straight set wins down the line thanks to Valeria Salazar, Brianna Bikini, and Komal Safdar. Despite a loss in doubles play, the Orange confidently came away with its 8th win of the year.
And Evan, that win over NC State snapped a 3-game losing streak for the Orange. So when Georgia Tech stopped by Drumlin's just 2 days later, could SU keep up the winning ways? Unfortunately, not so much. It wasn't going to be that simple. Syracuse fell in its final home match 5-2 to the 25th ranked Yellow Jackets. Seniors Amanda Rogers and Kamal Sardar won their senior day matches, but those were the only games SU won Sunday afternoon. Sardar was the only SU player to win in straight sets, and it took her fellow senior Rogers the full 3. The third member of the senior class, Brianna Bikini, fell in 3 sets, and Tech won all the other matches on the day. Rogers' doubles match with Rianne Newborn was halted once the Yellow Jackets secured the win. So again, Georgia Tech wins 5-2, and that would be the last game of the Orange's regular season. Next up is the ACC tournament down in North Carolina. Syracuse earned the 12th seed, and their first match is going to be a matchup against number 13 Louisville in a play-in game. Earlier this season, Syracuse took down the Cardinals 4-3 at home. The winner of that matchup then plays Clemson. Tennis reporter Lauren Sinatra has more on the Orange's final home game.
Despite their strong win on Friday against NC State, the Syracuse women's tennis team fell 5-2 against Georgia Tech at home in their last match of the season. After the match, the seniors reflected on the season and are now looking forward to the ACC tournament.
I'm just happy to be out here. I've had a rough journey with 2 wrist surgeries, and honestly, to come out here and be playing my best tennis and to end it at home at Drumlin's in front of this crowd, I mean, it just makes it all come together.
Probably fulfilling. Yeah, just because, I mean, so many ups and downs, you know, new coach, you really don't know what's going to happen at the beginning of the year, and it was a roller coaster of emotions, but it was, I mean, I'm grateful for every single one of them. We're going to go in there like it's like a new tournament, like we haven't played it all this season with a fresh mind, and we don't know who we play yet, so we're just going to go in there and think we're going to beat everyone.
The Orange finished their regular season 8-12 and will now head to North Carolina for the ACC tournament. Reporting from Drumlin's Tennis Center, Lauren Sinatra, Citrus TV.
Halftime here on the bench, but coming up, we'll have more postseason previews for you. It's time to check in with the men's lacrosse team. Plus, we'll sit down with our softball reporter. Don't go anywhere.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Watch Citrus TV Noticias at 3 p.m. every Sunday on the Orange Television Network.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. On the bench, about to talk some softball. Final weekend of the season for the struggling Syracuse Orange coming up. It took on the Pride of Hofstra on Tuesday. An extremely disappointing result for the Orange on Long Island. Cuse had a 4-1 lead going into the bottom of the 7th, the final inning, but could not get the final 3 outs of the game. A 2-run homer and a bases-loaded walk tied the game in the 7th, and the Pride picked up the win on Karen Bailey's second 2-run home run in as many innings in the 8th. Annie Tolchinsky homered earlier in the game for Syracuse as part of a 2-for-3 afternoon. Sydney O'Hara and Julie Wombold also had 2 hits apiece for the Orange.
And now Citrus TV softball reporter Ariel Epstein joins us in studio to talk more about the Orange's final matchup of the season and how the team can build moving forward.
Joining her on the bench by our softball beat reporter Ariel Epstein. Ariel, Syracuse playing in the 3-game series with the Virginia Cavaliers this weekend. What strengths does this Virginia team bring?
Well, Virginia is not doing well either. They're actually 21 games under 500. They're on a 3-game losing streak right now, and the thing for them is that their 2 pitchers, well, their 2 best pitchers are freshmen, Andy and Alex Formby, who actually happen to be twins. So that's a little change up there. And also their best hitter is Caitlin Fitzgerald. She leads the team in batting average, so that's who Syracuse is going to have to look out for this coming weekend, and we'll just see the matchups from there.
So we got these fabulous pitching twins. That's a great marketing idea, Virginia. You should listen.
Twins.
Yeah. So they're coming in to pitch against Syracuse, perhaps on both ends that Saturday doubleheader. How does this team match up against the Orange?
Well, Syracuse does, as you mentioned, pitching. Syracuse has some pitching issues of their own. But before I say that, both teams are under 500, which is going to be an interesting matchup. It shows that it'll be a good matchup. Also, Syracuse upperclassman Mary Dombrowski has really been hitting well. She's on fire lately, and she should match up well against a freshman pitcher who she could even take some advantage of. So the offense for Syracuse has really been hot, and I can only imagine it'll be really great against freshman pitchers.
So we're looking at perhaps some high-scoring games this weekend between these 2 teams. Now, we discussed, Syracuse under 500, not really in a position to make it to the postseason this year. What's been the primary issue for this softball team?
Their pitching has really been an issue. They have Jocelyn Cater, who's really been she's really tried so hard to stay in these games, especially because they play double headers, but she can't play a full doubleheader and then another game the next day. It's just not going to happen. So they have Sydney O'Hara, who also was their pitcher last year, who they really was their go-to, but she's been injured, so she's not at 100%. And then you have Anne-Marie Gaddy, who is a freshman, and they really feel she's going to be developing, but she's not fully developed yet since she is so young.
So you've got O'Hara probably coming back at 100% next year. It's a pretty young team. As we look forward to the 2016 season, what can we expect down the road from Syracuse softball? Some improvement maybe?
Yeah, there's definitely room for improvement. Coach Ross always says that their team is just developing, and if they keep believing that, then they will have a great season coming up. But they are young, they're developing, and they're going to have a long off season, which they're going to really need, and maybe get a few more players here and there. But players such as Anne-Marie Gaddy and Sammy Fernandez, they're freshmen right now. They've proved a lot of what they can do. But next year, as sophomores, I could see them taking it to a whole nother level.
Syracuse softball closing down the series in style against Virginia this Saturday and Sunday. Ariel, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Syracuse has only been in the ACC for 2 seasons, and while it's still hard to tell if the move has benefited the Orange lacrosse team. One thing is for sure, though, Syracuse's schedule has certainly gotten tougher by joining the strongest lacrosse conference in the nation. Now, looking last season to this season, it's hard to tell if Syracuse has really improved, at least in conference play. The Orange has one fewer loss than last year, but don't forget, Maryland left the ACC. The Terrapins were one of those teams. SU dropped a game too in 2014, so essentially the Orange enters the ACC tournament this weekend with the same record as last year. In Philly, the Orange ended up winning a thriller over Duke and then falling to Notre Dame in the conference finals. The strong tournament was supposed to give Syracuse momentum going into the NCAA tournament, but SU lost its first round matchup at home to Bryant in a stunner. We'll see what's in store this postseason for the Orange. And with the ACC tournament around the corner, Syracuse has many players contributing from places you may not expect. Citrus TV's Marcus White has more on how the Orange is benefiting from lacrosse's nationwide growth.
It may not seem like it now, but Peter McCartney did not pick up a lacrosse stick until he was in middle school. He grew up in Colorado, which was not exactly known for its lacrosse when he started playing.
It wasn't really a big deal back then. I was playing a lot of hockey, a lot of soccer, and playing lacrosse maybe 2 months out of the year tops. Now if you look at it, kids are playing year-round at much younger ages than 7th grade.
McCartney's home state is one of the fastest growing states in the country's fastest growing sport. According to a U.S. lacrosse survey, the total number of youth lacrosse players doubled from 2006 to 2014.
But as the sport of lacrosse has grown, players here at SU aren't just from the traditional lacrosse hotbeds. And Coach John Desko says SU and other schools have started to look elsewhere for talent.
Things have changed so much. I mean, you look at the rosters of all these Division I schools, 2 and 3 for that matter. The places that the players are coming from, you never would have expected.
Syracuse has players from those unexpected places playing big roles on this year's team. Redshirt junior defender and Texan Brandon Mullins leads the team in caused turnovers, while McCartney's roommate, Henry Schoonmaker, grew up in Oregon and is tied for 5th on the team in goals. And McCartney himself is 3rd on the team with 28 ground balls. The sport's growth has benefited Syracuse, but Coach Desko says it's made recruiting much less familiar.
All the teams that we recruit against, I would look at their rosters and of their freshmen coming in, there might be 10, 12 players. I knew them all because we recruited them all. Now, out of the 10 or 12, if I see 3 or 4 names that I even recognize, that's a lot.
Going forward, McCartney says he wants to contribute to the sport's continued growth in Colorado.
I hope to eventually return to Colorado and coach myself. If not right away, then in a few years. I'm sure Brandon will do the same thing. Same with Henry. It's definitely something you want to get back to the game. I'd love to get back to kids who want to make it to a place like Syracuse.
And as the game continues to grow, players like McCartney may no longer be the exception to the rule. Marcus White, Citrus TV.
Quick check-in on the track and field team, and despite the fact that I didn't bring my running shoes, Syracuse was down in my hometown of Princeton, New Jersey for the Larry Ellis Invitational this weekend. Let's get a check of the results from that meet. Justin Knight finishing in first place in the 1500 meter. This is the Virginia Challenge after the Larry Ellis Invitational. Jesse Peterson first in the 10K, 34 minutes. I don't think I could run a 10K in 34 hours. Kevin Hoyos, 7th place in the men's 10K, and Max Straneva, 9th place in the 10K on the men's side.
We're in the home stretch here on the bench, but on the other side, we'll tell you what sports you want to watch out for in the coming week. Plus, relive all of the best plays with images of the week. On the Bench is back in 60.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Welcome back on the bench. Katie, this is the part of the show where we usually make a joke about how bad I am at technology, but I think I can get through this.
Even if you can, we're still going to make the joke.
Yeah, fair enough. Check us out at sportsblog.citrustv.net for highlights and interviews from all over the Hill. We're also up on Twitter and Instagram at Citrus TV Sports. How'd I do?
Not bad, but all you had to do was read off the screen.
I'm really good at reading right off the screen, Katie.
Now, Evan, speaking of social media, it's time to check on our tweets of the week, and let's see what players we're tweeting about this week. First of all, our own web producer, grad student, so this is his last show with us, Christian Pedersen, looking snazzy at the Citrus TV banquet.
The stars and stripes in the outfit, I cannot tell you how much respect I have for that. Plus, little Q's basketball action in the Baltimore Orioles game. Their catcher's name is Caleb Joseph. I hope he didn't make a turnover with 18 seconds left in the 9th inning.
Now, he was also their catcher last year, so I'm not sure why we're just now making this joke.
Well,
but I'm glad people are catching on to the Orioles.
Catching on? I see what you did there.
And then one last thing, a lot of Syracuse sports had senior day this week. Caroline Grosso saying she can't believe that her Q's-Lax career is over.
That is a lot of emojis. Well done. If you're going to do it, go all out.
And now, Evan, since it's our last show, we're going to take a look back at some of the best plays from a lot of the sports on the Hill.
Yeah, we'll go back all the way to football season. We'll take you back to Syracuse football against Wake Forest. This is not a year that most want to remember, but if you remember this game, the defense scored more than the offense. None more impressive than Robert Welsh taking it to the house. Interception return for a touchdown. I believe Micah Robinson had one in that game as well.
The defense did some great things this season, Evan, for sure. And now over to ice hockey, sport I used to cover. Love seeing this. Rival Mercyhurst, they'd never beaten them in program history. This goal from Nicole Renault gave them their first ever win over Mercyhurst. A very exciting day for the SU hockey program.
Everybody remembers the big season out of Rakeem Christmas. Maybe no play bigger than this. Jaleel Okafor, you might be a millionaire. Not that night. Syracuse did go on to lose, but Rock, what a phenomenal senior season.
Yeah, and now some SU lacrosse action against Hopkins. Donahue, what a goal there. Beautiful. Caps off a 7-goal run against Hopkins. SU came back to win 13-10 in that one.
And in softball, Mary Dombrowski, 3-run bomb. What a year for Dombrowski. She had under 200 last season. Total breakout year, Syracuse softball.
And then, Evan, we looked at this earlier in the show. Lauren Ziegler, 5 goals on senior day. SU wins 14-12 in their last game in the Dome.
Checking in on the weekend as we take a look at what's coming up for Syracuse.
There's going to be a lot of ACC tournament action, so be sure to be on the lookout for that.
All ACC tournament lacrosse.
Yes, and it's our last show. We wanted to go ahead and thank our producers before we say goodbye. Taryn, Christian, Amo.
Love you guys. Here's Images of the Week.
Boco and Onowaku fight for the rebound, and it comes down to Louisville. Clean pass. Block by finishes on the slam from Rozier.
More than anything else out at midfield, wins the face-off, that breaks away from the ball into Williams. Had a Steve Haynes scores his second of the season. An assist as well today. Ben Williams wasting no time.